Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome to 7th Street. So first off, let me apologize that it's been a while since my last YouTube review. I've been a little bit busy with moving. I'm working on a film. I was recently at a premiere for a film that I star in, which I'll talk about a little bit later in a different video. It's unfortunate that my first video back is that of a sad one. I felt obligated to do a remembrance video for director Yoshimitsu Banno, who just passed away recently. In the short span of my reference this film series, I've already covered 2 of his films, probably his most well-known films, Catastrophe 1999, and I referenced him in my Godzilla film. He was the director of Godzilla vs. Hydra, which is my favorite Godzilla film, and I really felt the need to do a video about him and to kind of share some very good memories that he's provided me with in my life. First off, just to give a little bit of a backstory, Yoshimitsu Banno was actually blacklisted in Toho after the creation of Godzilla vs. Hydra. He was told that he ruined the Godzilla franchise. Because his film was a little bit outside the norm. It didn't follow a lot of the same formulas that previous films had. He was a really brave filmmaker. He was blacklisted and unable to direct another film. He was demoted to, script supervisor and got credits like, senior assistant director, chief assistant director, things like that. They really downplayed him. They still made him work, but refused to give him any credit on any of the films that he worked on. He really was a fantastic filmmaker. He's definitely influenced me in the way that I make films, definitely the way that I look at structuring a film and just kind of working outside of the normal parameters that film school and film historians sort of set for you. I've always been in love with his work. When I was a kid, I remember that Godzilla vs. Hydra was only at one video store in all of Vancouver, Washington. I used to beg my dad to drive me across town just so I could see if it was there. A lot of times it was, it was rented. There must have been other fans in the area that were always picking up the film. And I was always really lucky if it was there, and I got to see it for a little while in the late 90s, early 2000s. It used to play on the Sci-Fi Channel quite a bit, and I would pick up the TV guide. I'm sort of dating myself by using that, but I would pick up the TV guide and just flip to Saturday and pray that there was a Godzilla movie marathon and that they were going to show Godzilla vs. Hydra. I've always known that that was my favorite of the franchise, which is saying something. It's been my favorite since I was a kid, and it's still my favorite to this day. And it's because of his direction and his art direction, his crazy preachy preachy script was, something that always got to me. It actually made me care about pollution and the way that we treat our Earth, which I can't help but think was his goal when he made the film. Catastrophe 1999, I rented from Movie Madness in Portland, Oregon, just kind of on a whim, because it was a Toho science fiction film, not even knowing that he really worked on it, because he's not credited as the director, and he's not really credited with writing the script, although it's widely known that he did most of the work on the film. His influence is everywhere, and you know it instantly by watching that film. That Yoshimitsu Banno had a lot to do with it. That is my favorite non-Godzilla Toho film. Once again, it's overly preachy. It's got a brotherhood of man message. It's got an anti-pollution and climate change. This climate change awareness message to it, which is extremely ahead of its time. My thoughts are definitely with his family. When I saw the news yesterday, I was really sad. in the last couple of years, he had announced that he wanted to make a sequel. He actually got the rights from Toho to make Godzilla 3D to the max. It was supposed to be a 45-minute film that was going to be shown in IMAX theaters. He had the rights, he had the script, he's had that script since the 70s. He planned on making a sequel before he got blacklisted at the studio that he worked with. I was really excited for him. He's been trashed ever since he made Godzilla vs. Hedorah. And unfortunately, the 2014 Godzilla film was made instead. The American film company, I'm actually not sure who produced the new Bryan Cranston Godzilla, but they acquired the rights and got to it first. And the film was never made, and now sadly, Mr. Banno has passed away. So it's a sad day for film fans in general, I think. And if you're unaware of his work, I'm telling you, go see one of his films. And if you can get past the cheese factor, if you can get past the awful dubbing, I think you'll see what I mean, that he was a really special filmmaker. And his contributions to the film industry will not be forgotten, at least to me. So with that being said, my thoughts are with him and his family.
Animal, God's animal.